The first place you come to after entering the cursed land is this destroyed village infested with man-eating plants. If you head down these stairs in the cliff face, you'll find David Bunch in his shop. Not only will he sell you many items that you'll find useful on your quest, but you'll also be treated to one of the best pieces of music in the game. If you walk through the back storeroom of the shop, you'll find our first point of interest. A dim and dank stone chamber. A flooded staircase leads down into a pool of translucent water, where you can look below its still surface. The purpose of this room isn't certain, but it likely serves as a sort of overflow outlet for the well at the center of town. On the other side, you can see a ledge inaccessible from here, submerged within the water. This tunnel appears to be the source of the water that appears in our pool. If you drop into the town's well, you'll wind your way through a bug-infested water system that includes the well's reservoir. Draining the water from the reservoir will subsequently drain it in the other chamber. If you follow the edge of the reservoir, you'll find a tunnel that leads you to that high ledge we noticed earlier. This chamber serves as an example of FromSoft's connected level design at work, years before Dark Souls would be praised for that same thing. However, what I like the most is that this pool serves as nothing but a brief thoroughfare at the end of a side area that the player is never required to see in the first place. Some short time into your journey, you'll make your way through the Holy Forest and into the King's Throne. The ancient king of the forest folk, a boss that you can fight much later into the game, resides here. Near the throne room, you'll find a stone tablet beside a door. It reads, "The Passage of Light. People of the forest who seek a great secret, proceed with caution." Through the door is a long, narrow staircase leading up towards a dark, stormy sky. Intense, anxiety-provoking music assaults your ears as you ascend the stairs. Once you reach the top, you're greeted by the voice of the ancient king, saying, "No one gets the light from me." At the same time, you're assailed by his curse that drains your health and magic, as well as turns your vision purple, while you are attacked by dark birds that fly above. However, this curse only happens if you have not yet defeated the king, which is likely the case on a first playthrough. If you return here after defeating him and turn off the in-game music, you'll find the atmosphere to be completely changed. If you slow down and take in your surroundings, you'll find the Passage of Light unsettling in a different way than when you first arrived. A winding labyrinth, with the only sounds being the everlasting thunderstorm overhead and the wing beats of dark birds in the air. Lightning strikes flash over distant mountaintops, offering the furthest off view of the cursed land that can be found anywhere. These mountains help put into context how totally out of place the Passage of Light really seems. Tall stone walls, built in a way that defies sense. It feels as if you've ended up in a reality different from the one you've known up to this point, setting it apart from any other place you can find throughout the game. If you are liking the video so far, I'd ask if you'd subscribe and leave a like. I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'd appreciate any of the support you can give. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the video. Not long after wandering through the home of the forest folk, you'll make your way towards the home of the earth folk. To get there, you'll have to cross this bridge that spans a great ravine. The bridge is lit by a single torch that burns eternally at the center. Dark birds will try and attack you when you cross, but if you can defeat them, you can stop and take in your surroundings. Looking to the right as you cross, you'll see more torches off in the distance. They sit on a bridge, quite like the one you stand on, although they do not do a good job in illuminating it for us to see. A seemingly endless, dark void spans the space between the two pathways, threatening to swallow you whole at a single misstep. If you look in the other direction, you'll see a flame burning on a cliffside, with a pair of piercing red eyes beside it. That is where I want to take you next. Once you cross the bridge, you'll soon find yourself in the cavernous home of the earth folk. Taking one of the tunnels on the left will lead you through a room with a stone table and down a sloping pathway. At the end of the path, you'll find the source of the red eyes we saw earlier was a ghoul. More importantly, you'll also find an isolated grave on a cliff overlooking the ravine you crossed earlier. Inspecting the grave will yield you a pair of gauntlets, but who did they belong to? Almost assuredly a warrior of the Earthfolk rests here, but there are many questions to ask. What was their name? How did they meet their fate? And for what reason are they buried here, alone, while the rest of their kin sleep together in a chamber elsewhere? The answer to all these may forever remain a mystery. Much later in the game, you'll cross another bridge that leads you towards watery caverns and then the Witta Castle. Past the castle, the water-filled natural passageways intersect each other, filled with Witta scouts and the large aqua lizards. If you manage to navigate the dangers and make it through, you'll arrive at the northern shore. Cloudy skies hang over a cold, dark sea. A lighthouse stands on a cliff high above the surface of the ocean, its fire having long been snuffed out. We can see the effects of this if we walk along the high cliffs to the left and look down. A shipwreck lies below on the surface of the water, flotsam pulled against the cliff face. If you were to plunge into the water below, you'd find your way into a hidden part of the watery caverns that hold secrets of their own. The sounds of waves crashing against the shore are soothing, lulling you into a sense of calm despite the ominous landscape. If you look into the distance, 2 rows of torches extend out from the beach towards a huge structure, veiled in shadow. If you place the icon of fire into the lighthouse, you can reignite it. This gives a much clearer view of the shore, including the massive ocean fortress that looms over the beach. Walking down to the beach, we can get a closer view. Inside the fortress lies all kinds of dangers, but outside on the coast is a peaceful reminder of the wider world that you inhabit, and a suggestion of distant lands across the horizon. As you approach the bottom level of the ancient city, you'll exit the Great Graveyard and arrive at an intersection. If you head left, you'll find the base of the central tower submerged in water. However, if you head right, you'll arrive here. A massive cavern holds the ruins of the once great city of the Dark Folk. Most of the cavern has been filled with water, submerging the majority of the buildings below the surface. Despite that, some of the structures still remain unflooded, including a dome-shaped building that can be seen in the distance. It's impossible to look at this area and not think of the New Londo ruins that would appear in From Software's Dark Souls over a decade later. Like that city, the city of the Dark Folk was sealed after those who lived there were corrupted by a dark power. Many parts of the sunken city that you can access hold powerful artifacts from this destroyed civilization. But where I want to take you is elsewhere. A cliff reaches over the rest of the ancient city, completely beneath the surface of the water. On this cliff is a skull, staring into the distance. This scene evokes so many questions. Who is it that spent their last moments here? What was it like, watching this once great city that was consumed by the darkness become sealed beneath the flood? And what secrets, answers, and questions further still lie deeper within the abyss? Almost 2.5 decades later, Kingsfield 4, the ancient city, still holds up for having an amazing atmosphere that rivals even From Software's modern games. I'd love for you to tell me in the comments section what your favorite area is in Kingsfield 4 or any of FromSoft's other titles. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.